Washington, D.C. has long been known to many as Chocolate City because of its large African-American population and rich culture. But like so many places in the U.S., demographics there are shifting, and the black population is dropping. So can the nickname live on? Here's Faith Abube.
10 years since Washington, D.C. lost its status as a majority black city, and still, Aji Abbott isn't ready to give up his beloved hometown's old nickname.
I mean, to me, it's always going to be Chocolate City. I'm never going to forget, and I would never let anybody else forget.
And he doesn't. Walk into his popular soul food restaurant and you leave with a full belly and maybe a neighborhood story filled with black pride, rich in culture.
Chocolate City was you know, our people's spirit and soul and jazz and R&B and rap and go-go and soul food and just a creative mind and mindset of how to make, you know, something out of nothing.
Abbott is hardly the only black Washingtonian who wistfully remembers those days.
This was a black city. This meant that, you know, we made this city. You know, that the music, the food, the people, where we work, we took pride in everything.
Chocolate City was the dream of African Americans to live in a place that was full of black culture and music and lively arts and place to go and just learn about yourself.
The culture was strong, and the black people were running things, you know, people in power and people in authority, a lot of people who look like you.
D.C. claimed its title as the first big U.S. city with a majority black population in 1957. But it wasn't until the 1970s that it really began reveling in it, taking on the moniker Chocolate City, nationally popularized with this tribute by funk band Parliament.
A chocolate city is no dream. It's my piece of the rock, and I dig you, CC.
Historian Maria McWhorter says it was the height of the Black Power movement, and D.C., with its more than 70% black population, was its mecca.
For someone who grew up here in the 1970s and 1980s, it felt like everything and everyone was black, and so there were no limits in terms of what you thought you could and could not do. And you really felt like the DC could be a kind of utopic space, again, for a black-led, radical, progressive city.
A black progressive city with a controversial but legendary mayor pushing it forward.
Good morning.
It's just two words, Marion Barry.
Cora Masters Berry, the late mayor's wife.
When they elected him as mayor, his program was empowerment, economic empowerment, jobs. Yeah, he changed how we made decisions about who gets contracts, who gets the bond business.
You know, there were black folks doing everything, you know, here in Washington, D.C., you know, dentists, lawyers, people collecting your trash.
Mayor Barry was definitely about the people, and he was always down with helping the people, and that's what we knew and love about Marion Barry.
But by Mayor Barry's death in 2014, his beloved Chocolate City was mostly that in name only. Like many big cities in the U.S., D.C.'s demographics were shifting, the black population dropping from its resounding majority to now below 50%.
You go to U Street today, very few African-American businesses.
It's a complex of different things, but definitely the influx of wealthy whites in the city definitely helped to lead to the decline of Chocolate City.
Between 2000 and 2013, the National Community Reinvestment Coalition estimates gentrification displaced more than 20,000 black D.C. residents. The change landing the city at the top of the coalition's 2019 list of most gentrified U.S. cities.
Anthony Williams becomes mayor of the city. He is intent. I mean, he says this. He wants white, middle class and wealthy individuals and families to move into the city. You know, one of the reasons he says, you know, we need wealthier people to come in, and that raises property taxes and, you know, supposedly it then trickles down to other programs.
The issue was gentrification is fine as long as it is done responsibly.
It just sucks that it wasn't for us. It wasn't for the people who were there. It's for the people that were coming in.
When you say us, what do you mean?
Black people. It wasn't for black people.
For D.C. native Karima Scott, the changing cityscape has been bittersweet.
During the years I was in school, D.C. was changing very fast. I mean, it was 1 minute you saw an establishment being worked on, and the next minute it's up and running. There's nothing that DC can't do. It's just things they won't do for the people that needed it the most.
The DC Scott knew then is now long gone, along with her old apartment complex, which once stood in the shadows of the U.S. Capitol. Her family was among the many low-income black residents displaced when the city, as part of a redevelopment project, tore down the Temper Courts apartments in 2008.
It's just the emotional experience to go through that, you know, you can walk through something, you know, I guess you invite someone to your house and they go through your refrigerator and you're like, what are you doing? How are you able to go through my refrigerator and eat my food? I mean, of course we all eat the same things, but it's my refrigerator, you know.
As of 2019, the U.S. Census Bureau estimates DC's black and white population is now evenly divided at 46% each. Abbott, whose soul food businesses are still thriving, fears what the melting of Chocolate City will eventually mean for its black population.
And maybe then it's 40, and then it's 25, and then it's 20, and then it's 10. Like, does it go to 5%? And then now Chocolate City is forgotten about? I mean, you try to roll back some gentrification by, hey, what did Rick Ross say? Buy back the hood, you know? Gotta start trying to buy it back.
Is that what you're doing?
I mean, that's what I like to do. That's what I would like to do. I mean, I guess this is my start, this is my beginning.
For ABC News, I'm Faith Abube.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.